Hello everyone, welcome back to Drawn by Annie channel. This is me, Annie, and I will be drawing for you today. Grab your tea, coffee and snacks and let's dive into today's video. Today is something special on my channel. That is my very first digital art video. I know you guys have seen me only draw in a traditional medium, which is alcohol-based marker or an acrylic paint, but I've had my tablet for a few years, but I haven't really drawn with it for so much, or at least that I haven't really shown what I've been practicing. And honestly, I didn't have much time to really practice things, so I was just sketching something that I liked or that wouldn't stress me out too much, because learning new things is actually very stressful. So I thought that it's not really worth showing because it wasn't about creativity, it was more about technical practice and learning the program, like a software tools and everything like that. And I don't know if that's anything that is entertaining for anybody or useful, so I didn't really think that I would do any digital art video because I'm not any good at it. I still decided to give it a try because I learned a few things and I wanted to see and check with you and ask you what do you think, even though I am freaked out as hell because receiving critique and bad feedback is always stressful for anybody, so I guess we're all trying to avoid that. But now I decided I will be courageous and ask for your opinion, as well as show my little speed paint of a character that is coming from a very old Korean action game that is called Lunia Z, or Lunia, the Record of Lunia War. I think it was the original name. I know this game is not really popular, but it was a very big part of my teenage years and I really love the game till this day, even though it's not as popular, and I think it's only left in private servers, so like there's no official developer server for people to play it. But this game holds a very warm place in my heart because it has helped me to go through a really tough time during my teenage years. Back then I didn't have much friends and I was mostly bullied at school for being a good kid and having the good grades and also because I never learned to stand up for myself. So I was just waiting for the school day to be over to go home and play some Lunia with my overseas friends, and I really spent a lot of time playing this game and I got really good at it at some point. Like I was one of the best support players on the server when it still was the official one, like not best of the best, but like maybe top 20 or something like that. So the character that I'm drawing a fan art of today is Eir Peltrow. She is one of the main characters of the story of the game, and she is a royal princess that has started her adventure journey with a mage named Dane, and then on their adventure they meet a third main character, which is Sieg, who is a swordsman. And this is one of the old style MMORPG where people would go into instances and they don't have like an open world or anything. There were like public spaces like squares where people would gather and try to find a party, or would just chat and do some fishing or some enchanting and enhancing their equipment, you know, the usual gamer stuff. And the game was happening in instances which would be a part of the story of the game. So each stage would represent like a piece of the story, and it was super entertaining, especially if you were reading the actual story. It had like this sprite type animation, so it would be feeling like you're reading a manga or like a comic, and then you would play the stage as you are and then read the rest of the chapter in the end of the stage after you're finished with beating the boss. So the whole game experience feels like you're a part of the story, like literally you're reading a little bit of a comic in the beginning to give you some context, then you have an actual stage and the characters are interacting with each other during the stage as well, so the story keeps going on as you're fighting monsters and everything. And then there is like a little scene after the boss is finished, so you're like sitting at a campfire and you can see the cutscene and read the story. And I think this game is really one of a kind because I haven't played anything like this before and after. Like nobody makes games like this at all. And I think they also made like their unique game engine, which can also explain why there's no other games like that. And as the game was developed and progressed through the story, they were adding more and more characters, but I still stuck with the original character, which is Eir Peltrow. And I think that was the only girl character at the moment when I started playing, so I just went for it. And also because she was the only one who could heal people, and I'm usually the one who wants to support and buff people in any type of games, so I'm a forever support gamer. So yeah, till this day she's my favorite character of all. And I really like how they developed the armor sets. Like each piece of story would give you 10 episodes, and as well as a unique armor set for each class with all the unique looks and everything. And I had this set as one of my favorite ones because it looks very girly, very princessy, but still it's like an armor. And for this armor set, I really like the color palette and the golden texture all over it. I personally think it's perfect. The whole concept of Eir is very nice. Like, she's a princess, she has a healing magic that comes from Moon Goddess. It gives like Sailor Moon vibes, but in a different interpretation, if that makes sense. With this drawing, I also wanted to try and replicate the shiny effects on when Eir's casting her magic. She is lighting everything around her face and also around her magic wand, and all the skills are sparkly with stars and shinies and everything like that. I really didn't want to make it super complicated, so I just went for a simple abstract background with all the shininess that comes from her moon magic. So yeah, kinda simple digital fan art of my childhood favorite character from a game that I really liked, and I hope you like this little experimental digital art video and a speed paint. Tell me in the comments what you think, or if you have any tips or tricks for digital art, especially for Clip Studio Paint software. I would really appreciate it. If you want to support this channel, you can leave a like, comment, and subscribe to this channel and my other social media. And I hope I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!